Welcome to the Hyperfast Agent Growth Show. Get real strategies, real results, and real estate them differently. Lead generation, team building, AI, and more from billion-dollar agents, best-selling authors, international speakers, and real estate coaches, Keri, Shull, and Lesniak. Let's dive in!
Welcome back to the Hyperfast Agent Growth Show. Today, we've got an exciting topic that I'm going to be talking about. Three things, right? The three things that you need to spend 90% of your time on as a real estate agent if you want to make a lot of money. And let me tell you why the next 12 to 24 months is going to be the biggest opportunity I've ever seen for real estate agents. The last few years, there has been a lot of pessimism out there. A lot of people feeling bad about the market. Yes, we went from a high of like 6.3 million transactions in the US to like 4 million a few years ago. But let me tell you why there is a lot of optimism and a lot of runway for real estate agents, especially if you focus on the three things that I am going to talk about today. All right. So over the last couple of years, we've seen the number of mortgages with rates at 6% and above shift dramatically, right? Like 5 years ago, that was almost unheard of to have a 6-point, mortgage or higher. Now, earlier this year or late last year, for the first time in like 4 or 5 years, the number of homes with mortgages that are above 6% is greater than those that are under 3%. All right. So we're seeing that lock-in rate, that mortgage lock-in rate is dissipating. So what does that mean for you as a real estate agent? Well, those move-up buyers, those people are moving, because they want to, right? They have a house. If they move, obviously they have to sell it. They are going to be less restricted because it's going to be less of an interest rate jump. So we're going to see more move-up buyers, right? In addition to the people that have to move in any market, right? Because of jobs, change in family status, death, relocation, right? Like those will always be there, but now we're going to see more of those move-up buyer deals, move-up buyers that are also sellers coming to the market. All right. The second big thing that I saw recently that I think should be hugely optimistic for real estate agents is a record number in January, the highest number since they've been keeping track of this stat, which goes back more than a decade, right? Record number of homes that came off the market were relisted in January. Over 45,000 opportunities in January, right? This means if you are a proactive prospector, a proactive lead generator, you've got a huge opportunity. And proactive lead generation is one of the biggest things you probably hear me talking about on this podcast. Certainly when I'm on the weekly powerhouse talk show that I do with Tim Harris and others, you'll hear it there, like proactive lead generation. Well, the expired opportunity is just insane right now, right? As high as it's been in recorded history since they've been keeping that statistic. All right, the next big piece of news or trend that I've been seeing is this focus from the administration on things to help the housing market. So last year, the big beautiful bill passed, and in that bill, we're going to see money going back to consumers, money going back to taxpayers. That should start hitting very, very soon as we come up on tax season. So people are going to have more money in their pockets to spend. Cost segregation is back, right? So now investors can use the accelerated depreciation, right? Anything in that house, if you do a cost segregation study that is a 15-year or less depreciable item, you can take in year one. That is stimulating investor purchases, just for the tax savings alone, because it's massive. Like on a $1 million investment property, you usually can come up with $250,000, maybe $300,000 of write-offs. So that's been huge for investors. And so there's just, I think if you're a real estate agent, you're seeing all this bad news, don't feed into it, right? Don't feed into that. Be optimistic. There's a huge opportunity in the next 12 to 24 months for the agents that can have the discipline and the consistency to spend 90% of their time on the three things that I'm going to talk about now. All right. So number one, and this is most important, is lead generation, right? And what do I mean by lead generation? I don't mean posting on Instagram and, hoping someone comes to you. I don't mean, sending out one mailer one time and then just waiting, right? Like that's passive lead generation. I'm talking about proactive lead generation. So picking up this thing, right? Picking up the phone, making calls. You already heard me talk about expireds. Huge opportunity. So the first calls you should be making every day are the new expireds in your market. I promise you, no matter what market you're in, there are expireds, canceleds, you name it. Homes coming off the market every day. These are people that have raised their hand. They've raised their hand and said, I'm willing to sell my house and I'm willing to pay a listing agent to do it, right? And most of them relist, right? Over half relist, probably over 2/3 relist, right? So call the expireds, door knock the expireds, get in front of them. Second group that you need to be calling is for sale by owners. These are people that have raised their hand and said, I'm willing to sell my house. So call them. They generally take a little bit longer to convert than expireds. It's going to be more of a relationship building, maybe adding value up front. And I'll share plenty of ways to do that later, or talk about it at the end at least. All right. So call the FSBOs, call the expireds, circle prospect, right? This means call the people around your listings. If you don't have listings, call the people around other listings, any listings in the market, right? Ask them for referrals. Typically when one home sells in a neighborhood, another one's going to list within 30 to 60 days. Ask them who they know that needs to sell their home in the next 30 to 90 days, right? So call the people around listings in the neighborhoods that you want to do business. All right, and the last fourth source of new lead generation that you should be doing each and every day is calling your sphere of influence, calling your past clients, and ask them for referrals. Ask them if there's anything you can do to help them in any way, shape, or form. Like become the connector, become the person that adds value. Right, when someone mentions that they're having an issue with this in their house, be the one that connects them to the right contractor, right? Help them in any way you can, and you will get referrals from. All right, the second activity that you need to be spending most of your time on, 90% of your time on, is lead follow-up, right? Lead follow-up. I can't say it enough. Most people are not going to get business on the first ask. On average, it takes like 5 to 7 times, and most real estate agents stop after 1 or 2. So many of you already have enough leads. You already have enough people you've talked to. You already have enough people in your database. You're just not following up with them. You're just not staying top of mind. So lead follow up every day. Follow up with your leads. All right. And the third and last one is lead conversion, right? You need to spend 90% of your time on lead generation, lead follow-up, and lead conversion. What does that mean? Well, that's getting buyer agreements signed, getting listing agreements signed, writing offers, negotiating contracts, right? So I want to challenge you guys to do this. Take an audit, do this for a week, keep a journal every 15 minutes, write down what you did, or use a notes app in your phone, and every 15 minutes log what you did. Then at the end of the week, go back and look, right? Many of us feel stressed, feel like we don't have enough business, feel overworked, but then you look at it, right? And how much time are you spending outside of lead generating, lead follow-up, and lead conversion? Most of the, and anytime you're spending outside of that, it's not serving you, right? It's not serving your clients. It's holding you back from making a greater impact for you, yourself, your family, your community, your clients. You're getting caught up in busy work as a form of procrastination because sometimes it feels intimidating to do the real work of lead generating, lead follow-up, and lead conversion. All right. So you might be lost, right? You might be thinking like, well, how do I do this? How do I schedule this out? What scripts do I use? What do I say? How do I make my listing presentation better? Well, I've got good news for you. Keri and I have been coaching real estate agents. We've been coaching team leaders for many, many years, right? We've taken what we've learned from selling over 5,000 homes in our careers and building large teams, coaching large teams. We've taken all that, and normally the only way to get access to those courses, those trainings, those scripts is to pay for it. Well, here's the good news. Several years ago, 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago, I partnered with Tim and Julie Harris at eXp Realty. If you don't know them, you guys need to check out their podcast. It's amazing. It's one of the largest real estate podcasts ever. And they've been doing it for over a decade. And they're also one of the biggest, if not the biggest, real estate coaches in the industry, have sold hundreds of homes. Personally, they did that for a decade before coaching, which they've been doing for 20 years, right? So over 100,000 coaching calls. So they have one of the robust coaching platforms that I've ever seen. They've got scripts, they've got listing presentations, everything you need to just, to kill it in this industry. And here's the good news. When you partner with Keri and I and Tim and Julie at eXp Realty, not only do you get all the access to all the amazing eXp benefits, right? Which it's just too many things to mention, tons of great training, free seller leads, right? Free seller leads with no referral fees. Imagine that. Stock awards, right? So not only are you making income through selling homes, you're getting stock awards for production and recruiting milestones, but the biggest opportunity really is revenue share. You can go out, share this amazing model with other real estate agents, and earn money monthly from revenue share. And there's just countless of stories of agents, of people at eXp Realty that revenue share saved them. It saved them from bad months or times when family members got sick and they couldn't work, right? Or more and more agents have retired off revenue share than any other brokerage in the history of real estate, right? So this is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, wealth acceleration tools. And between Tim and Julie and Keri and I, we have sponsored hundreds of real estate agents. We can help you grow and build that if you want, right? So when you partner with us at eXp Realty, in addition to all the amazing benefits you get from being an agent at eXp Realty, you get over $40,000 each year of paid coaching materials for free, right? If you were to go out in the market, buy our courses, join our coaching program, join Tim and Julie's coaching program, you'd spend over $40,000 a year. When you partner with us, you get all of that for free. Script trainings, listing presentations, listing trainings, buyer, how to write offers that win, right? How to build your own team. You get all of this training, over $40,000 of value for free. And, we essentially become your partners. We want to help you sell more homes. We want to help you build revenue share by recruiting agents to this life-changing model. So if you're listening to this, you want to get more access to our training, to what we have to offer, you want to become partners with us, collaborate with amazing real estate agents from many different markets, all you need to do is send me a text message at 703-638-4393, right? Just send me a text message, 703-638-493. It is me. I will pick up the phone. We'll have a short, no pressure call. I'll explain the model to you, explain how things work when you partner with us, explain how, we'll get you plugged in. And, if it's a great fit, amazing. We are off to the races. So again, just text me at 703-638-4393. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Hyperfast Agent Growth Show. Please do me a big favor, share it with other people if you got some value out of it, and leave us a 5-star review on Apple or wherever you listen. I'll see you guys next time.
You've been listening to Hyperfast Agent Growth Show with Keri, Shull, and Lesniak. Real strategies, real results, real estate done differently. If you love this episode, tap subscribe and share with another agent who's ready to grow.